Good evening. Welcome to episode 2 of the Gimmick podcast, live this week from a beautiful Witters Sports Bar, sunny North Tonawanda, a packed house. You might hear some of the crowd tonight. All you can eat spaghetti night. The crowd is fired up. I'm DJ alongside my tag partner here, Troy, and this week a special guest, my girlfriend Carlene, also known as the female perspective, she wants to be called, apparently.
Packed crowd is going wild for her right now.
Right?
All right, we're just days away from the annual Royal Rumble, very hyped event. Philadelphia, it's going to be a hot crowd. They got Super Bowl coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they might have to grease the poles there again this weekend.
Because
might have the Crisco on Sunday.
well,
that's going to be huge.
We have some fears for that, but we have to start with a very controversial.
Yeah, take
Raw
us back to
25.
Monday here. Take us back to Monday.
I was there, but before I get to my thoughts on that show, I'm not going to use any other words to describe it yet. I've got to hear what you guys thought watching it from home.
It was fun to a point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's definitely stuff in there where, like, obviously I popped for the Attitude Era stuff, naturally. But I think I agree with a lot of people where, in terms of a go-home show to a Big Four pay-per-view, one, and two, it being the Royal Rumble, you thought there was going to be some any type of storyline development where it wasn't. It just felt like they were throwing things out there.
Yeah.
There was no flow to it. It was just kind of like McMahon, boom, hit him with the stunner, and then next thing comes. The only real thing I think that made sense in the entire show to me was the Miz Reigns, because him dropping it to Reigns, I feel like...
Yeah, that's the only real story thing.
Right, it's the only thing that really progressed a story.
Asuka threw a couple people over the ropes, but...
Yeah.
Whatever.
But that whole thing was just, I feel like they missed an opportunity on that too, where I get it, you still want some women to be a surprise to everybody, but at the same token, I feel like you missed a huge opportunity with Trish and, all them coming out, all the legend women's, I guess if you'll say, they came out to the ramp and
Nothing.
just did a
It was
pageant
like, hey,
wave.
All right.
They just did a pageant
Yeah.
wave and nothing else. So, I mean, show was fun. It was cool. Tell you right now, if I was someone who shelled out a reported $400 to $500 at the Manhattan Center, probably would have tried to burn the place to the ground.
So pissed.
I would have been livid. I would have been super hot because I saw NoDQ.com had like a fan who was at Manhattan Center, and he did like a very detailed description of what was going on. And the fact that they were getting like 2 and 3 minute dark cruiserweight matches.
It's like insult to injury.
Oh, that's just a shot to the yam bag. Like,
Right.
You're just with someone's nuts, just punching
We're sorry,
back.
here's Mustafa Ali to make you feel bad.
And
that you
apparently,
spent $500.
right? And apparently they went into the back, like fighting, and then they came back out fighting too.
Because, that's the funniest thing. They brawled to the back because they were about to do a segment at Barclays. So they brawled to the back. We did the segment at Barclays. Once that ended, they came back to the ring and finished the fight.
It sounded like I had a nice $10 meal at Witters, and I watched Raw on TV, and I feel like I got more out of it than
Yeah,
being
you got
at
the same
Manhattan Center.
experience as people there did.
So I guess that was my thought on it. That it was cool seeing Stone Cold. It was cool seeing the Bullet Club thing, or the Balor Club, whatever you want to call it. But the whole Too Sweet thing was probably my favorite part besides Austin, and that was it for me.
Yeah. It was a good beginning, and then it just lulled, kind of. And then in the end, I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep early because I woke up early, but then I rewatched it, and the end was great. But the beginning and the end, it was just, the middle was just kind of meh. Pass.
Yeah, you probably should have took a nap.
Right.
You didn't have to stay awake for anything. There was nothing that really would have piqued your interest. Probably would have put me to sleep too if I was watching it from home.
So,
Yeah, what was it like? Now
Being
give us
there.
you being there.
I think if they did a couple of things differently, the show wouldn't have been viewed as badly.
Absolutely.
So the crowd at Barclays was obviously very hot at the beginning. They had Stephanie and Shane come out before we actually went live, and the place was going. Even for Stephanie, the place went nuts.
Yeah.
And then so she comes out in the ring, and then Shane's music hits, and the place loses it. And then we go live, and then they say Vince is coming out. Place goes crazy, and then you knew Stone Cold was coming out.
Yeah.
It seemed odd that Vince started at Barclays and not at the Manhattan Center.
Yeah.
That doesn't really make sense to me. And you knew that Stone Cold was going to be paired with him. But so obviously the Stone Cold was the moment of the night. That was the only reason I was there. Once I heard Stone Cold was going to be there, I was like, "This is going to be I have to be there," because he's like the only person I've never seen live. So,
tell the story about your parents. I think that's good for the podcast. I think that's good radio. That's good radio.
My only chance I would have seen Stone Cold would have been Fully Loaded, I believe, in like 99.
Yep.
In Buffalo. Stone Cold versus Kane. First blood match. And it's my parents' anniversary. I'm like 8 years old. And I screamed bloody murder when I found out that it was their anniversary and they said we couldn't go because we weren't going to be in town.
DJ will
We're going to be in town.
DJ will bury his parents on that storyline.
I think we went to Florida or something.
Not putting his parents over right now.
Couldn't be there for Stone Cold versus Kane. And I think that was it. I would have never seen him again.
And you've never forgiven them since.
Did this past Monday just make up for it a smidge?
It does. In the moment, it was great. But then immediately the next day, everyone was like, why didn't he have a mic? Why didn't they let him talk?
That's true.
But him, he's one of the only guys that can do that. Where he just walks out, doesn't have to say a word.
No.
And people are just going to lose their mind.
But I think it would have enhanced the whole
maybe
thing.
when they went dark, or like maybe like an after show thing if he came back out real quick and I think that would have been cool.
I thought he was going to head over to Manhattan Center and do something when they went off the air there, but I guess he didn't.
Did you see that WWE.com exclusive interview he did
Mike
though
Rome.
with Mike Rome where he just
good.
buried him? That was pretty funny.
He
should have did something like that on the show though.
Yes, exactly.
I agree.
Even if they put that on the screen.
Yeah, just on the Tron. Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of making it WWE.com exclusive. So, that segment, everyone's super hot. And then they do the 8 women tag match, which was way too long.
Yep.
It was like a 15-minute match.
And it went through a couple commercials, right?
It was at least 2 commercials. It was like, what are we doing? They easily could have. I think you want to keep the crowd hot because that killed it. Like, that really killed a lot of the crowd. Why not do that stupid Dudley Boys thing next? You could, because you could have had stupid. Well, who was out there was debatable. Well, Rhino and Slater and.
I thought it was interesting too. You brought up the Dudley Boys thing. I saw something online. Forgot where I was reading it, but it clicked as soon as I read it that I don't know why they didn't give the Dudley Boys spot to the Manhattan Center for 2 reasons. 1, because of who was in the segment. Like, why do you need that at Barclays? 2, Hammerstein Ballroom in the Manhattan Center was a huge home for ECW back in the day.
It would have been awesome.
So that would have made almost, well, in WWE logic, too much sense. So why would we do that?
And I was just reading on here. They were not. That was not the planned match. It was supposed to be Enzo versus Goldust.
What?
And the Dudleys were supposed to come out and put Enzo through a table.
I would have lost my mind.
Yeah.
In pure joy.
Way better segment there. Instead, Goldust got the main event dark match before the show. People wouldn't have been. But you could have moved that up because people would have been pissed that they had to see those 2 tag teams. But the Dudleys would have made up for it, and the place would have still been crazy. And again, so the first 40 minutes of the show was all at Barclays. So Manhattan Center is just sitting there on their ass doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then you get to The Undertaker, who
Oh Lord.
First off, maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know why. I don't know if why he came out with the lights still on. I don't know if that's because that's how he
Like
did it.
fluorescent mall lighting.
That was strange.
Like,
At first, I was like, maybe they don't have the lighting rigged the way they want to, and they have to. But then Bray Wyatt came out in the dark, so I'm not sure if that's how.
I'm sure
it
if
used
you
to be
look
when
at
he
old
came
tapes,
out.
I think
He came on the light.
the early days. I think he came
I'm
out in
sure
the
he
light.
did.
They didn't develop that till later on. I don't
Yeah,
think.
so I'm sure
But
that's
still.
what that was all about.
still, you're gonna come out in all black with eyeliner and the lights are on? It just looked weird.
I
And he
agree.
took forever to walk 12 feet, by the way.
Yeah, he's really good at that.
I mean, come on.
He's really good at taking forever to walk
I went
anywhere.
pee and had a beer, and then I got
Right,
back.
see? Yeah.
And it was just got there.
That's the issue I have with
And then that promo was the most confusing thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows what he actually said. And according to PW Torch, my guy Wade Keller over there, says a wrestler.
Your source.
Yeah, my source, my personal source, a close friend of the show, Wade Keller, said a wrestler told him Taker got lost during his promo because of the small venue. So
What?
I listened to Keller's show the night after on Tuesday morning, and they were talking about he might have flubbed a line, and because his promo is very cryptic and no one knows what the heck it meant, and it was and they seemed like almost a waste of an Undertaker appearance, which they don't waste those. So
It
he
felt
might have
like
messed
it,
up,
too.
Yeah.
and he was supposed to say something more clearly, and he didn't. And now he's being told that a wrestler says Taker got lost during the promo, so that makes sense. And then Meltzer,
Another friend of the show.
another friend of the show, a big friend.
He's a huge fan.
So obviously, Undertaker and Cena was all the hype
Yeah, that
before
was
that.
all
Everyone
the
thought
rave.
everyone's waiting for the Cena music to hit at some point. And Meltzer says the reason WWE didn't do an Undertaker John Cena angle at Raw 25 is because that was their only chance to set up Cena and Elias, which is being done because of Joe's injury. So
I feel like I don't know if
I
it
feel like
would
Raw 25 is big enough that you can wait on Elias.
Yeah,
I love
that
Elias.
too.
I'm the biggest Elias
I love
mark out
Elias.
there. But
Although I thought that was, I will say though, I think that was an underrated segment.
it was great.
Yeah.
I think that was good.
That was really
noted
good.
that in here, Elias, because how often that's huge for Elias on that
absolutely.
stage. How often do you come out on top in a segment with John Cena?
Right.
Not often.
I mean,
If at all.
it looked like it was going to be the typical, Cena just comes out, beats you up, makes fun of you.
That's what I thought was gonna.
Music hits, he leaves.
Yeah.
And then Elias got the upper hand, hit him with the guitar.
He cracked him too.
Yeah. So that says something about their confidence in Elias.
I like him because they're slowly building him. He's
Yeah,
a
it's
slow
a
build. They're not
proper-
rushing it. Yeah, it's a pop. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, people are getting to know him. He's getting the heat. Except a lot of people like him.
Yep.
He's smart. He's smart with the crowd.
Very smart.
Oh,
He's
he
very
knows,
good.
he knows how to
Yeah,
play
he's
them
very
like a
good.
fiddle.
Yeah.
He goes off script so much, and he's very good
Oh, it's
at
great.
it.
That's how it should be. And I think he's what whoever it was, McMahon or somebody, was talking in an interview about some of these guys. They're given the opportunities and they just don't. These guys just go with their scripted promos and they just stay on the course. Where I think that's great. Elias is actually just ad-libbing sometimes, and you need that creativity. That's what I think people want, that realism, and that's what keeps people's interest in your character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting a good build. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, what's going to be. I mean, I think he's got to lose against Cena. That's because Cena keeps losing. You can't just. It's like the Undertaker thing. You can't just have Cena keep losing at one point. Does it just not matter anymore?
No. Well, I think
Cena just lost to Reigns. I don't think he can lose to.
But that's what Cena's thing needs to be now. It can't be
I know, but it can't
him
be that-
winning all the time.
It can't be that often though that he keeps losing.
But he has such. He's already cemented everything forever for himself. Well, just like Undertaker, like you said, he just strung together 2 losses, Apparently, he's still going to come back. Nobody's going to care if he wins or loses. So who cares if John Cena wins or loses, you know? That's what he should be there to do now, is just put talent over. I get it, eventually I know they're going to give him the 17th title run because everybody's up his ass, you know, but he doesn't. He could literally walk in and just win the title. He doesn't need like a build to this big match. You know, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Where I think it would be a lot more beneficial if Elias won, even if it was like in not a clean way. If he didn't beat him clean, I mean, that would just get more heat on him, which, as far as I'm concerned, is his job.
Yeah, I think Elias is. He's gonna have a good future. This year should be a good year for him. Another big moment was The Miz, who is one of the top heels in the company, beating Reigns, who is portrayed as one of the ultimate babyface in the company. And Miz got the babyface reaction winning that championship.
Yeah.
That place went
They went nuts.
I was on my feet. Like, that place...
Applauding.
That place
standing ovation.
Went nuts for Miz.
Well, and he did it too without the Miztourage, right? Like they got sent to the back or whatever.
I mean, they made a big deal.
Yeah.
Cole made sure everyone knew that he cheated still, but he. That's the live crowd.
Yeah, somebody's getting unruly here. They want more spaghetti on all-you-can-eat spaghetti night. Somebody's unruly here.
Miz, it was interesting that, without the Miztourage, won that. It's obviously, some people said, it's because of the steroid things, but it has nothing to do with that, I don't think.
Well, no.
It's to get the title off Reigns so he can focus on Lesnar for the Mania.
Yeah.
Also, per Meltzer, friend of the show, he says The Miz is in line for a big push and major match at WrestleMania 34.
Really?
He deserves it.
Which is interesting.
I agree 100%.
You know, hopefully, I don't know who that is. Maybe it's Balor.
That would be
That's
interesting.
possible. Balor Miz would be awesome.
That would be
I think
great.
so.
Awesome match. Miztourage out there, and then you have Gallows and Anderson out there with Balor. It'd be
See, I know,
a good time.
I know they're obviously building to Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, but I'll tell you right now, there's some definitely unresolved tension between Bryan and Miz too.
Yeah, there was
that would
no,
eventually like to see come to a head.
That wasn't a coincidence that it was done that way.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I saw the whole thing they did.
The
yeah.
There's no coincidence there.
So even if something changes by the grace of God, which I know it won't, but maybe we get him and Bryan, which I think would be just as exciting.
Oh, those promos would be so great.
Ooh.
Miz and Bryan in the ring.
That would catch my eye again. Like that would make me want to watch.
It's another ultimate face during ultimate heel.
Absolutely.
Everyone loves Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
To finish up this Raw 25 stuff, Manhattan Center finally did get a decent. They got their money's worth, I think, with the DX stuff. And Razor Ramon coming out, just a too sweet fest all over the place, and it was like the greatest thing.
I got to make one note. I don't know if you saw this, but the music hits for Razor, the screeching wheel. I'm popping because I'm just marking. And then all of a sudden he starts coming out of the curtain. He's going to do the gimmick, whatever. They cut to commercial.
Oh, yeah,
I
remember that.
What? I'm like, why a commercial right there of all the times?
I think they had to. They had nowhere else they could do it because they ran so heavy.
I would say I think that whole show in terms of time management was just
horrible.
It's
awful.
not great.
They screwed up.
It ended up, like you said, being a
Because-
fantastic moment for over there, but them taking a commercial break right there, I was like,
Yeah.
why?
For the TV crowd, yeah, that's horrible timing there. I think they had to because they left Braun, Brock, and Kane with no time at all.
Oh,
That was
God.
just a pointless. Like they should have just ended with DX. Like
Yeah.
They should have
Brock
ended on
stuff
a
was
high
horrible.
note. Well, the fact that they started the show with a thing in, well, I know technically the McMahon thing started the show, but obviously they showed
Yeah, they
Lawler
started
and at Manhattan Center. You should have bookended it that way.
yeah,
For a place that was so, according to them, iconic. It's the first place that Raw, First Raw. That place I feel like was treated like garbage all night.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like second fiddle to Barclays.
And it sounds like there's a few other, like the Peep Show segment was supposed to be there, and they changed that last second. Also, Jimmy Fallon apparently screwed up a lot of things because
Just by being there?
he was supposed to. I don't know why they wanted this, but he was supposed to do most of the segments with a lot of these legends, and they found out they had the whole show written for that, and then they found out that Fallon wasn't going to be there on time, so they had to rewrite the whole show.
What?
And that would explain some of that. Apparently, that's the reason behind the legends coming out and just waving those segments, is because Fallon wasn't there to do what
Oh
he
my
was supposed
God.
to do.
So we can blame this on Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So that's the reason.
Fallon, not a friend of the show.
Not a friend. That's confirmed.
Not-
But you
friend
can
of
have
the
us on your show anytime.
But
but yeah, let me backtrack there.
any fear that Finn Balor was not over enough with Vince McMahon, I think that's gone because he just got his endorsement from Triple H in that segment
big time.
there.
yeah.
Big time.
That was putting
All of them too.
I know,
Even Gallows and
seriously,
Anderson.
who were literally a comedy act just a couple months ago and losing to everyone.
Nerds.
They weren't even on TV for weeks.
That means.
I mean, the nerd thing's still great.
Oh,
great.
that's
Oh my
amazing.
god, I love that.
See, I've listened to numerous podcasts like with them interviewing, just out of character. God, they are so funny though.
Yeah.
They are so funny. So I feel like, yeah, you could throw a little comedy in there, but you still need to keep them like
Yeah.
this hard act.
But they were like the gimmick match on Halloween and stuff. It was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I remember that. I was obsessed.
Stupid.
was
So
upset.
putting them out there with DX, Scott Hall, that was freaking awesome.
That was huge.
What was said is that I love the revival. And it had to have been trending. Protect the Revival was all over Twitter, and they got sent out there to just take the finishers, which is never a good sign for a
I
tag
know.
team, for anyone, when you're just sent out there to get...
Beat up on
Do you think that's punishment for the professional wrestler line?
No, because that had to have been scripted.
No, I think it was too.
I don't know what that is, because... I don't know. It's disappointing, because I think a lot of people... Well, the hardcore fans want to see them succeed. I don't think anybody else wants to see them do anything.
No. Did you? So there was a chant that broke out during the revival match.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what they said.
So I couldn't figure it out either. I went online later and I heard on Twitter that it was "Fight the Young Bucks" because you know the whole FTR thing.
That's what it was. That's amazing.
Allegedly, that's what it was, and I was like, "That's incredible." I was like, "Good for the Manhattan Center crowd."
That's a good chant there.
That's probably where the hardcore fans were, anyways.
No, it's definitely all the hardcore
You
fans
know.
there. It was all the normals you see.
Right. Oh, yeah,
All the
for
people
sure.
who are always in the first two rows at Raw
Yeah.
and every pay-per-view,
Right.
they were in the first
They
two
were
rows
there.
there.
100%.
But very exciting for Balor.
Yeah.
And I think that could set up Ms. Taraj Balor Club thing going forward.
Sure.
Seems to make sense.
Imagine if
And-
everybody was healthy and we got the Shield and Balor Club.
Oh my God.
Because you know when they faced off a couple weeks ago, but obviously Jordan was in the ring instead. Hopefully that's a little foreshadowing too.
That's about it. They really didn't do anything else. Being there, it was fun.
You happened to mention somebody earlier that was supposed to be in a match though, against Goldust.
Oh, look at the
But
segue
what
there.
what happened to
Bad.
him?
That's a professional segue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
see
about
that?
So Enzo Amore,
He gone.
the train wreck that he is.
Oh, good riddance.
Right?
If you ask me.
Right?
I'm like relieved that he's gone. I
I
think a
used to
lot of people
love
feel
Enzo.
that way.
We
Well, I
all
think
used to
everyone
love
We all
like,
did.
loved
We
him.
all loved
We
Enzo.
all did.
But we all turned on him
But
real quick.
As quick as we got
Yep.
on his bandwagon, we hopped right off.
What am I going to do with
because-
these 2 shirts that I have now?
I'm
What do
telling
I
you,
do with
eBay.
them?
I'm telling you, people sold. I told you earlier, people sold Aaron Hernandez's stuff after he was a murderer,
That's true.
jacked
You're right.
up.
yeah.
Go ahead, sell your
Enzo's not as
Enzo
bad.
Amore stuff.
Although a rape sentence is more than a murder sentence in some places. So
Oh, he'll get the shit kicked out of him in jail for that kind of stuff.
everyone loved him. People still do like him. I think for a lot of people this is very upsetting.
It is upsetting.
For people who like professional wrestling, they're glad to see him gone because he can't wrestle, and he destroyed the cruiserweights.
See, my thing is, like, I think the adults could see right through him.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, kids, you know, I saw him doing the promo stuff for WWE or, you know, going places, doing events. I gotta say, he looked like he was good with the kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think the adults could see right through him because, like, you know,
Right.
I followed him on social media.
Yep.
And I could just see what a huge D-bag he looked like. And honestly, it doesn't...
No.
Like, when I heard he got suspended, number one, and then released, I didn't even flinch.
Well, there were so many recent things about how people couldn't stand him backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He cheated
And
on
he got-
Liv Morgan.
He got kicked off the bus by frickin' Reigns or whatever.
Yeah. So he's just...
The-
It's not a good look.
Remember, too, apparently a stripper from Buffalo tweeted
remember
out...
this.
Oh, yeah, the last time they were here, I want to say... Was it the fall? It was the fall or the summer. But she tweeted out something about how Enzo came up in there talking this big game, like he's got all this money in this, and apparently he was being very suggestive towards her as well.
Of course.
How much of that is true, obviously I don't know whatever happened with that, but I remember it was some girl from Buffalo that was the one that was coming out with, you know, allegations against him too.
So now that we don't have to deal with him anymore, the Cruiserweight Championship is vacant now. Open for the taking. I don't think WWE is ready for that because they literally have not built one single person to be. I mean, Cedric is, I guess, the next guy in line, but I don't think they were going to give him that win over Enzo at the Rumble. So it's interesting. Also interesting for 205 Live. So no more Enzo, and they're going to have a general manager.
I heard about that. Because didn't Gulak do something, like he cut some
So apparently,
little...
yeah, the last 205 Live, a couple of guys, I think, cut promos saying that they should be the...
Yeah, did like vignettes. I know Gulak did like a vignette. He's
Gulak
incredible.
would be the perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd be awesome. There were some other
Yes.
things. People... It was actually Cage Side Seats, I think I was reading before we started, about like Rockstar Spud being a GM.
I could see that. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, there's a few options out there. Dean Malenko, Billy Kidman, guys who already work for
Kidman would be
WWE.
awesome.
Yeah.
Kidman, I love Kidman.
Yeah.
See, Kidman, I feel like would translate a little better on screen than Malenko.
Yeah, and
because
I think
Malenko,
people like Kidman. Well, the hardcore likes Malenko, but
Malenko's a great wrestler,
Yeah.
but his personality was like the wall behind me.
Yeah.
You know.
Kidman's
Well, they called
awesome.
him the Iceman for a reason because he was just stone.
And as long as
stone face.
if that means we get the Kidman music every once in a
Yeah,
while,
that one.
I'm all into that for sure.
Oh,
If we get that,
absolutely.
I'm all for it. I'll start watching 205 Live again just for that.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting though. That it's got to be someone. It's got to be someone who draws.
You know who'd be a funny one, too? I feel like a real funny one would be Jack Gallagher.
It'd be good.
Him coming out, like, in proper, like, English. You know, obviously resolving, like, if there's an issue in the, you know, he's setting up a match or something. Like, I just think that would be, I think we'd be able to do that.
He'd be
pretty
good.
well.
People like him.
Yeah.
I think you could easily just make him a baby face again, and people won't care.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, yeah, you can do anything you want with those cruiserweights. No one's gonna give a crap. So
That's a shame.
No,
It's a shame,
it
too.
is. It is.
They're so good.
they're very good.
I think I formed this opinion based off something I read again, but I think a big thing too is they're trying to play them to the bigger audiences, where I feel like if you set them in smaller venues, more of the hardcores would come out, or the
Yeah.
people that already knew them on the indies would sell these shows out, and I think they would do way better at the smaller venues.
Yeah.
I don't know. They should just They shouldn't do it live. They should do the tapings at Full Sail.
Yeah, something like that.
Seems-
Or even, like, I know they're doing the tour. Take it on tour, because plenty of cities, like us, you know, we got
We'd go.
Riverworks, we got ECC, we got the Burt Flickinger. There's a couple places that
Yeah.
have held smaller shows that I feel like you could do
Yeah, I'd
with
pay
the
just
two
to
We'd
of
go
us.
go.
see Cedric.
Yeah.
I'm sure a huge crowd from Toronto would go.
Absolutely,
Right.
that too. Toronto's got a lot of places as well where they do the smaller shows
Mm-hmm.
that I think it would work.
So,
It seems like WWE is becoming more open-minded with the indies, though.
yeah, I mean, them doing that tour for 205 Live is...
Yeah. Well, Pete Dunne, too, you and I were talking about it, how
Dunne.
last week he faced Aries at the Toronto, and then actually there was somewhere in the UK maybe like a month ago or so, where he actually faced Ospreay. So that's 2 crossovers right there, where WWE's crossed over with another name company that people are paying attention to.
Yeah, a lot of those UK guys, I think, do. Like, I know Trent Seven and Tyler Bate are always doing stuff for Progress.
Yeah, it just seems like WWE letting him do that is they're beginning to be more open with the independent scene.
What was I going to say? Someone else, I don't know who. There was someone else that was doing that stuff too. At some point, I would like to talk about the UK people, because they're supposed to have that UK.
Yeah, they're supposed to do a show, right? They're supposed to produce a whole show.
Where it seems far from it. And that brings me to, when are they just going to let Pete Dunne be on Monday Night Raw? Like, why are we waiting? I don't get it. He's under contract.
Well, I don't understand for now why they don't treat the United Kingdom Championship just like the
Another championship.
Right, just like
Which
the
I think-
European
Yeah.
Championship.
I think they did that with that Gargano match. Like,
That's right.
He
wrestled Dunne,
So they
right?
did open it up for one match.
But like you said, I don't know why they don't just bring it to the main roster
bring
and treat
have
it.
Pete Dunne, yeah. Put Pete
know.
Dunne on the show.
Because technically, technically Raw has Universal, Intercontinental, Cruiserweight, and then their tag team. So then SmackDown has WWE. Oh, they have the
United States.
US and then a tag. So you could fit that in as a 4th title over there.
But because, this won't be a problem anymore. But I was going to say, with the Universal Championship never on TV, it could have been a good,
Oh, that too. It
buffer
could have been a good filler. Absolutely.
because they only have one title.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. The fact that the Universal title was getting left off like pay-per-views just baffles me.
and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, both in their early 20s, I think are 2 of the best talents they have.
Tyler
And I think
Bate,
Triple H knows that.
He's
which
like
is-
19,
He's like just
19 or
20,
20,
isn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah, I think.
He's so
Yeah, I
good.
think Dunn's
So
24 and
talented.
Bates 20 or 21. But I think Triple H knows that. I think he's very aware
Yeah,
of how good they are.
right.
So that's
I'll tell you,
exciting.
once the old man croaks, I think Triple H is going to do it the right way.
I think.
He's trying to now.
You know, yeah, I like what he's doing already.
Yeah.
He gets it. He knows how to
Yeah.
adapt.
Yeah.
Vince is just so old
He's
school.
72.
Yeah,
like a
Period.
Pete Dunne.
that's it. Exactly.
But
There's
we-
not more to it. He's just an old man.
He's an old man.
I know he looked rough.
He
on
did
Monday.
not look great.
They have to hurry up though, because we need like a Pete Dunne AJ Styles match. Would be like the best match of all time.
Don't get my hopes up like
Oh
that.
my god, it'd be
Why
so.
are you playing with me like that?
It'd be so good. How far are we here? All right, we're already 35 minutes in. We do have to get to these
Let's get to it
this
now.
weekend. I mentioned Rumble, but before Rumble,
Big weekend for you two, by the way.
we will be in Philadelphia starting Saturday with NXT
So
Takeover. Takeovers
Yeah, I
are
hate
always
you guys.
my favorite shows. I think Takeover Toronto was amazing.
Yeah.
We went to that. Takeover Brooklyn was
Yep.
freaking awesome. These shows never fail. This card is only 4 matches. It's by far the smallest card. Not by far. Usually they're 5. The last one, wherever they were, what was that? San Antonio or something? War Games was, I think 6 matches.
Really?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that was the most matches on the card, and they had that long War Games match?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That show went long. It went 2.5, I think.
Did it? Okay.
These-
What do they usually try to keep it at 2?
They usually are under 2, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Toronto, I think, ended. Toronto was probably 2:15 or something. 2.
Yeah. If
They're right around 2 hours.
Okay.
They're 8
All
to
right.
10. They're not 8 to 11.
Okay.
This one only has 4 matches. There was NXT tonight. I haven't seen. I heard rumors that they were supposed to add a 5th match. It was supposed to be Roddy versus what's his name? Big guy, Lars Sullivan.
Really?
Roddy Strong, Lars Sullivan was supposed to be rumors that was going to be.
I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel.
Well, no,
about
there
that.
was a rumor because that was all tape, so that wasn't a rumor. So maybe they're just going to add it here at some point before Saturday.
Checking their Twitter right now and see if they got anything.
Cage Side Seats has a story here. The story's headline is literally "Takeover Philly needs one more match." So
I'm not seeing anything on here right now, to be honest with you. Oh wait, what's this? Oh no, that's just an NXT match.
I think they'll add one. I think they have to. They have 4 matches. They're not going to fill 2 hours, unless you're going to unless you're giving Gargano and Andrade like.
I mean,
45 minutes.
maybe something happens too.
Well,
I don't know.
There is something big going to happen. We'll get to that. Start with
So
Bless you.
sorry. I apologize, audio listeners. Holy crap.
the match that will probably start the night.
they're gonna hear that one. I'm clear.
I think all 4 of these matches have potential to be like the best 4 matches of this. Well, there's 2 matches on the Rumble card that are gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine Adam Cole, Aleister Black start this night.
Well, that match they had on TV was phenomenal when they put NXT on USA.
Yeah.
So this will be their second meeting.
And this, I believe, is an Extreme Rules match, which I'm not all about the
Between
gimmicks,
Cole and Black.
but, yeah.
See, I'm a sucker for gimmick
You
matches.
like it?
I'm a sucker for gimmick
I don't
matches.
think they need it, but
They don't, but you know what? I've seen some Cole matches in Ring of Honor where they've done a no DQ or have used weapons. I think if it's done tastefully, if it's done right, a gimmick match can be incredible.
Perfect example is I was a little upset that Omega Jericho was made a no DQ match. I was like, I just want to see them wrestle.
Right,
that
but
match
I
was
think it
great.
enhanced.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like it
great.
enhanced it a little bit because the storyline was so violent because they had both attacked each other. You know, he bloodied him up. I just think the no DQ thing just fit in there nicely.
No, they did a great job with
Yeah.
it. That's what I say. It can be done well. I think they'll do fine.
Right.
They know what they're doing. Cole
Absolutely.
and Black are awesome. I don't know who takes that. Who goes over that match?
Is Alistair still undefeated technically?
They said that, yeah. So even though I'm pretty sure he's the one who was pinned in the Fatal 4-Way. So
they're not, but apparently they're not counting that.
I
Is it
guess
just
not.
classic WWE? They want us to forget it ever happened.
yeah, they just forget that he was pinned
Yeah.
by Gargano and he's still undefeated. So I guess I think they consider him undefeated. At Cole has lost. I want to say to someone.
Cole's lost.
I think Cole.
Well,
has
well,
lost.
he black pinned him.
Was
cleanly
that? Yeah, that's right.
on
So
TV? If I'm them, I tend to be wrong though, obviously, because apparently me and the WWE are in the same wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Cole should go over. You're building him.
I think they're way
Yeah.
bigger. I think they're bigger on Aleister Black than they are Adam Cole right now.
I know it's still early for Cole. But he's over. But one, I feel like Black is going to be going to the main roster probably
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
That's gonna be part of my
So I feel
Rumble
like-
match predictions.
I feel like you need to give Cole
Right. A push.
something. Yeah, like give him like a something like, the only man who's been able to beat Aleister Black thus far. Like, do you think they're going to push Black undefeated into the main roster like
I don't think
Asuka?
they need to. Yeah.
I don't think they need to.
So that's an interesting point. I think if Cole wins, I think the chances of seeing Aleister in the Rumble are much higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
If Aleister wins, I think he stays in NXT
Longer.
for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because we still haven't had Aleister Black in a title match. And so the reason I always say Aleister Black wins, because one, I think they're higher on Black.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to the main roster yet. I think the Monday after Mania might be the spot for him. And they need another... I mean, this is kind of jumping ahead. Andrade is going to win the championship. And they need another babyface to take on Andrade.
Sure.
And they don't have one.
Sure.
Because Roddy already is done with everything, I guess. So... that's what I say. Do you have a...
I love Aleister Black. I will be wearing his shirt on Saturday. I can't wait to see him. And I wanted to say him because I'm selfish and I love him. But to have, if Cole and Undisputed Era won, I think it makes sense leading up to New Orleans. Honestly.
So that takes us to Authors of Pain versus Undisputed Era.
Right.
For the tag team championships, there's no way I say that. I've said that before and I've been wrong. There's no way Authors of Pain win this match against Undisputed Era.
Right.
Authors of Pain have been around for so long. I don't know what they're still doing. Like, just be done with it. And
Right.
then I've said that before, and then
Right.
that's what's great about takeovers, is because that could happen, and the place would be like, "Holy shit!"
Right.
Yes.
Authors of Pain won.
They've definitely
what
done
just
that.
happened?
They've definitely done that a couple of times.
Like, are you? It was like the Asuka Ember Moon match at Takeover Brooklyn. Everyone's like,
That's like the
Ember
match
might
of the
really
year.
win this.
Yeah.
Like, Asuka's got to move up. Ember's going to win this. And then Asuka won. And then the next night basically gave away her, just relinquished the title.
Right.
It was like, but they've done these things where, like I say, there's no way. I got to go. Undisputed Era is going to
Right.
hold the tag team championship. I think at some point we're going to get Cole, Undisputed Era as all the tag.
Yeah, they're all holding the
Champions.
belts. They're all holding the belts.
I think that's now.
I agree. I'm on the same.
Undisputed
I'm
Era.
on the same thought process as you, where AOP's ready. They can go up anytime they want. They've been
They're
around for a
So
while.
good.
They're ready. They're young.
Yeah.
So I think it is a thing. Well, I think too, if you're going to push Bobby Fish and you're going to push Kyle O'Reilly, the classic David versus Goliath story, have these two little guys beat these Authors of Pain, then they look like top dogs, you know. And that's why I'm saying you have Cole do some too. So then they, like you said, then you build them like, hey, you know, we're here, we're top three dogs, nobody's going to beat us.
Right.
So yeah,
Or we're going to do whatever we need to do to win, keep the titles, you know, that kind of thing.
they'll have Cole out there, I'm sure. AOP obviously has Ellering,
Yeah.
but Undisputed Era has to win that. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Third of the fourth match here is Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler. This one's tricky. I think Ember Moon. My gut tells me Ember Moon wins.
I say Ember.
All right.
But
Well, I was actually going to go with this. Go ahead. What were we going to say, though? Finish this thought.
I think Ember Moon wins, but I would. This is a match that I don't know what happens, but I can see some shenanigans. Somebody, it doesn't end with a pin or a submission.
Mm-hmm.
I could see maybe Baszler getting DQ'd or something if she gets too brutal and just keeps attacking Emperor when the referee tells her to stop.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I didn't
Um,
think about that.
because I don't think it's time. Like Ember, I'd hate to see her lose the title already. Because she's not ready for Raw or SmackDown yet.
I don't think she's losing the title. It's
And it would
too
suck to take
early.
the title off Raw already.
Right.
And Shayna Baszler, nobody knows really. The NXT crowd will know who she is. but
Right.
This is her first title. Well, no, she's been on NXT TV already. Just basically beating up people. So this is like her first big match. I think she's good. I'm definitely not against her winning the championship.
Right. No. I hear what you're saying.
She was great in the Mae Young Classic. Her finisher is so badass. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so awesome. She puts them. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I could be totally lying, but I'm pretty sure I remember she goes up for a suplex, and then drops them basically on their ass in front of her and puts them in like a rear chokehold and makes them tap. It's such an awesome looking.
So, like,
finisher.
it's basically a choke, but it just looks real flashy. the
She
way
starts it
does
with a suplex, yeah, and drops them into the chokehold. It looks sweet. She's cool. She's got the gimmick, the Queen of Spades. She comes out, does her little.
Yeah. Yep.
It's pretty sweet.
I know
That's
that.
pretty
yeah.
cool.
It's pretty
I-
sweet.
I'm gonna see. I'm just gonna go the other side, and I'm
You
gonna
think
take.
Baszler?
I'm gonna take her, only in the way where I know you're saying you think that Ember's not ready for Raw and SmackDown, but I could totally see her being a viable option, though, for somebody to be a surprise entrant in their Royal Rumble.
She'll be in the Rumble, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess, yeah, whether she has the title or not, I'm thinking the line of that I'm expecting her to be there on Sunday night to be one of the surprise entrants.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just another thing where I guess, Baszler does have the background where I know what you're saying, some people know her, probably the hardcore people, the people who watch the indies, the WWE fans who are just straight WWE probably don't know her yet, but I think that would be another thing, like, huge impact, like, holy shit, this girl, she's for real. Like, she comes in, beats the shit out of Ember, she's the champion. I feel like that would be another, like, whoa. I think that would catch people off guard.
I see it both ways.
And so do I. I understand both of what you're saying.
You think Ember?
I say Ember. It's too early to take it off her.
That's why I think Baszler loses by count out or DQ or something. I know the NXT crowd will hate that. We usually don't get those finishes in NXT, which is good. It's more of a main roster thing.
Yeah, they love to screw people that way.
If they can find a way to do it the right way. What worries me, though, is that it's better to do those in short matches, and when you only have 4 matches on the card, you can't afford to have a short match.
Right.
You can't have an excellent match and then end with a count-out.
Oh, no.
Or a DQ.
The place would boo viciously, I feel like.
It's a horrible idea. But again, I don't think anybody gets pinned or submitted there. That's my guess. And then finally, Gargano versus Andrade 3. Andrade's won the first 2. He's going to win the 3rd. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. Their first 2 matches were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be the best moment of the night, best moment of the weekend right here, unless something crazy happens in the Rumble, is Tommaso Ciampa is coming back, interfering.
Now, is that how he's going to lose? Is Ciampa,
Gargano's
or
gonna
is it
lose.
he's going to lose clean and then Ciampa comes down and he's already battered in the ring and then he beats him up more?
I think Ciampa's the reason
Okay.
Gargano loses.
Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not a huge. I guess it makes sense that way, but I'm not a huge fan of the clean sweep writing. Like, I feel like it should have been 1 match Gargano, 1 match him.
And then,
How do you say his name? What is it?
Andrade
Cien
Cien Almas.
Yes.
I think it should have been 1-1. Then going into the 3rd match.
That's what.
But the first 2 matches were both Gargano lost both of them because of the DIY stuff with Zelina Vega or whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you remember Brooklyn? She threw the DIY T-shirt at Johnny.
Oh, okay.
And then he lost.
All right.
And I'm pretty sure they did a similar thing again. They had a rematch, like
just on
next
like
week
TV or something.
It was very quickly after that Brooklyn match. They did it again, and something similar happened along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
So Gargano's never really lost clean.
Okay.
And that's why I think he's going to lose a 3rd time. He's not going to win that championship, I don't think.
No. Well,
If Ciampa's not ready to return, I think Gargano could win it.
Okay.
Because Almas might have been the transition champion, but I don't think Gargano is going to be a champion to hold it for a while either.
No.
And like I was saying, Andrade keeps the belt, and you have Aleister Black.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Your thought process about last match would be my thought process this match, where I feel like he's a pretty good heel and she's a decent mouthpiece for him, and I feel like it would be too soon to take it off him.
Andrade?
Yeah.
I freaking love Andrade.
Yeah, so I feel like to your point about Ember, it would almost be too quick to take it off him.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I think
But see,
Gargano
do you
doesn't
think
lose clean. I think Ciampa comes out and does something.
you think Aleister's gonna have a title run before he goes to the main roster?
I think so. Well, then you're right. 'Cause
Or do you think
if he wins the title, he's not? That pushes
They
that
gotta
back
keep
months.
him. Yeah.
right?
They
Or
gotta
do you
keep him
think,
there.
Almas just keeps it? I don't. How long is that McIntyre out? Do you think he just keeps it until McIntyre comes
I think
back?
McIntyre goes right to the main roster when he comes back.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
he comes back to NXT.
I don't think he needs to.
No. That was just a test, I think. They gave him the belt, see how he did. Now he's
Now
although there's only a 1-year contract. So they.
Interesting.
I don't think they can let him go though. He's too big now.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. And a lot of people say
I'd be scared
you
because I
can make
feel
him
like
one of the top guys in the company. He's got the size that Vince loves.
absolutely.
He's got the baby face look.
I'd be scared because I feel like if they did let him go, he'd go back to Impact.
No.
Oh, Lord.
Viewer discretion is advised, in case anybody's wondering. We try to keep this TV PG.
I have Gargano
ABC family.
winning.
Oh, I like it.
I think.
I'm not mad about it.
I think he won the last two.
So you're thinking along my thought process,
I think
what
it's
I was saying.
right. I think it's time to build up. Now this feud will now just go on a little bit longer.
So if Gargano wins, and you have Gargano versus Ciampa at TakeOver New Orleans for the championship, it's the best match of the
Sweet.
year.
Yes.
Right.
As you both were I was putting that together in my head as you were saying that.
Gargano, Ciampa.
I love it.
Like if Gargano just wins clean, and he's celebrating, and then Ciampa just Ciampa just comes out and like stares him down.
Well, you could totally do like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Like, you know, Owens celebrated with Sami when he won the title, and then boom, powerbound him or slammed this, whatever he did.
I just don't see Andrade winning.
I'd love to
all
see.
three.
The problem is that Ciampa needs his own music, and no one will know it. You can't hit his music because no one knows what it is yet.
Have him come out of the crowd.
You could.
You know what I'm saying?
But I don't want him to hit Gargano yet. And I think if he comes out of the crowd, he has to hit Gargano. I think he just comes out on the ramp and then just stands there and stares him down.
That could be.
Copyright.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's it.
I could see that too.
He just comes out, stares him down.
Yeah.
Gargano sees him, then they go to black.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I like that.
I don't think you necessarily need the entrance music. Like you said, you could just have him
Yeah,
walk
you
out
can't
and
do it
people,
because he doesn't have.
Well, because then people would get loud, and then Gargano would probably play it off like, why the hell's everybody getting loud, and look over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of angles you can go that way.
But my heart tells me Andrade wins because Ciampa interferes, and that because you can do Gargano versus Ciampa without the title, it's going to be an amazing match.
Yeah.
You can set up New Orleans, Gargano, Ciampa without the title.
Mm-hmm.
You can have another great match for the title. Maybe that's where the Alistair fights Andrade, loses, goes on to the main roster
Right.
after Mania.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
So I know we have to stay for Raw after Mania.
Of course we do.
I would be offended if you didn't.
We technically could do it, but those tickets are so expensive.
I have to live vicariously through you. You gotta do something.
Just starting up that GoFundMe.
All right.
Right?
We're almost at an hour here, so we gotta breeze through these quick.
Oh, you can't breathe.
Oh.
Well, we gotta
come
get through.
on.
We gotta get through the matches that are
We can get through it quick.
part of the
We'll be
Rumble
fine.
here. Styles versus AJ Styles and Kevin Owens.
I think Styles.
Did I just say?
AJ's got it.
Did I say that right? Styles. I said it wrong.
Styles.
You said it wrong.
I said Styles versus Styles versus. I realized as I said.
Facing himself?
KO
AJ Styles.
and
I was like
Sammy.
Styles versus AJ and
Impressive.
Kevin. Styles versus Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Styles.
Right.
I think it's gotta
Wins
stay
that.
Styles.
There's no
Yeah,
way.
It's gotta stay Styles.
You can't have a duo.
I think Styles is gonna keep it through Mania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely.
Although I feel like you could have a lot of fun with a co-champion
Oh, I think
storyline.
it would be
Be
great.
hilarious.
There'd be so much fun, but I don't
Yeah, but
think
I
they're
don't
gonna do
I
it.
don't
But
either.
that'd be great television.
They don't need the belt.
No.
Styles is gonna be champ heading into Mania and out of Mania. He's the guy.
And out of Mania?
Hopefully.
Hey, you think out of Mania too, huh?
Oh yeah. Early prediction there. Spoiler alert. Styles is the champion.
Come back to
coming
this
in
exact
and out.
episode at this time marker
Oh,
to figure that out.
Styles is the champion in and out of WrestleMania. So hopefully we get a little Styles wins, then heads backstage and tells Daniel Bryan that you can't do anything to take this belt off me. That'll get people excited.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan doesn't need to say a word. He just needs to look at him, give him a little smile.
Are you? Is this foreshadowing here? Are you foreshadowing?
Smile.
Is this where you're going?
Yeah, let's move on. Move
Let's
on
go.
to,
We're moving on.
probably the worst match of the weekend: Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman. Kane
Brock.
There's not much that needs to be said about this. Brock pins Kane. Everybody knows what happens here. There's no.
I was going to say, do I even have to answer that?
Right.
Brock pins Kane. That's why
cares?
Kane is in this match,
Yeah.
so that he didn't have to be Braun again, which was also a horrible match. Like, I don't see this.
Man, when are they going to give it to Strowman, though?
I would love
Strowman's
that.
got to be the guy after Reigns, right? There's no one else who's ever going to beat Reigns, ever, in the history of wrestling.
But then who's going to beat Strowman? I'm just thinking ahead here. Who's going to beat Strowman?
There should be no one.
I mean,
They
yeah,
run
he
him
should hold
over
the
with
title
a freaking
forever.
Truck, yeah.
They gotta take him out permanently if he's gonna
Well, you've
lose.
seen that. He's died and come back to
Yeah,
life.
he's already dead.
And
Truck-
he got
in a
crushed in a garbage
garbage
He was
machine.
killed.
So
He's been crushed.
Oh
Yeah.
He was
my
murdered.
God, that's right.
Well, not only that, wasn't he? Reigns tried to kill him in the ambulance too. Remember
Yep.
that?
Oh yeah.
He's been killed twice, so he's not.
He's
dead.
like a cat. 9 lives, that guy.
He just crawled out of the ambulance that time and just limped.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah,
I'm good.
it's like he took a baseball off the thigh or
Walk it
something.
off. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Rub some dirt on it.
Probably the match. What I was saying, those 4 takeover matches are all gonna be awesome.
Right.
I think the one match or 2 that could give them run for their money are these 2 tag team matches: Usos versus Chad Gable and Benjamin. That match is gonna be an excellent match.
Absolutely.
They'll kill it, and it's also, I believe, 2 out of 3 falls, which are always good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a fan of those matches.
We all know it's 1-1 every time, but
Right.
third fall will be good.
I'd love
Well,
to
it's
just see-
always
I'd love to just see a 2-0. Just throw everybody
alright, we're
off.
done.
Boom, that's it.
well, you always get like Usos will get the first pin, and then they'll have like 3 real near falls,
Oh, absolutely.
and then
Yeah, there's going to be so many, false finishes in there.
I think unfortunately the Usos lose. And
Unfortunately,
you want
I
The
like
Usos will
Gable
lose?
and Benjamin.
yeah, but the Usos
More
are so
than the
good.
Usos?
Yes.
Oh.
We're talking.
Well, I love Shelton Benjamin from like way back
I like him
when.
too, and I love
Old
Chad
Jordan.
Gable. Old Jordan.
I love old Jordan.
Old Jordan.
And
Old
Gable.
Jason Jordan.
Don't get me wrong, the Usos they're awesome. They
Usos are like the freaking hottest act in WWE.
Well, I think taking it off of them would get good heat on Gable and Benjamin, and then eventually you
will.
put it back on the Usos.
You also have
It's
one of the Usos getting
liquored up,
dub.
getting liquored up.
He gets
I was gonna say there's got to be some repercussion for that. I mean,
So-
it's not as harsh, obviously, as.
So I think they
Enzo.
take the
Yeah.
title off him. Like we were saying last week, they're going to lose. I think no matter what. But I think this is perfect because I think people see that headline out there. They don't want their champion to be the guy in that headline. So I think they need that championship off him for a little bit.
Have him take it back at Mania.
Yeah.
I
They're
don't think.
so
some
good.
time to let it.
They're so
Longer,
good.
Right.
Yeah. Gable Benjamin. I think they win. You think the Usos are going to win?
That's when I was like, I don't
On
know,
the
because I
fence.
could see them losing it, giving it time, letting it, stir.
Yeah, let the dust settle on
Right.
that thing.
So who do you got?
I'll take Benjamin and Gable.
Had a girl. She gets it.
And then
Welcome to the dark side.
we have, I believe this is the match. No one seems to have talked about it for weeks now. I believe it's the Bar versus Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. I could be wrong. I don't know we just have, no one's mentioned this match in weeks.
Well, I'll tell you right now, sure as hell didn't get built on Raw 25.
I guess it technically did, but it does. I don't even
technically.
remember it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
It
Well, it was the Peep Show
Yeah,
segment.
I don't remember it at all.
That was very
At all.
That's very quick.
And it was actually
was
great
quick.
because Jason Jordan impressed me big time in that segment. Like, big time. He's going to be so good as a heel.
Oh God.
He took
yeah.
those boos were like the loudest. They were so loud. Every time he tried to talk,
Yeah, he did. He did
He did
really well
great
with that.
with it.
I will
Yeah.
agree. I will agree.
he did not like fumble through that stuff. He was so good with it.
Yeah.
But damn them to hell for not letting Christian talk more.
I know. What was that? He didn't
That was
do
such a
anything.
weight. Now you want to talk about waste of an appearance? How dare you?
He barely did anything.
How dare you treat Christian like that? And the peep show.
He's just like, here's my guess. That was all he said.
Oh, it's terrible. But yeah.
The rumor, I believe Meltzer, friend of the show, said that we are headed toward a Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins match at Mania, which is a little different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought we could have had Jordan Triple H, Jordan Kurt Angle, Jordan Seth Rollins. I don't know
Who are
how
you
I feel
going
about
with?
it, but for this tag match,
Yeah.
Jordan and Seth Rollins.
Nope.
I
have the bar for this one.
If the bar wins, I believe they are already they're 3 or 4-time tag champions.
Well, they're high on that pairing.
The New Day
which
are
I am
4-time
too.
tag champions.
I just
I mean,
think
the one
the bar
time
will
New Day had it
win.
for
Jason
ever.
Jordan will say something stupid. Seth Rollins will go off on him.
It's
and
too
then
early, I think, to
there's-
break them up.
And then there's a conflict there.
Which, see, I like this though because now I can bounce off like both sides of it. Where like I totally agree with you. I think it should happen like that. But at the same token, is it too early?
They
I
just
think
got
so.
together.
Honestly, too, I wouldn't be a huge fan of that match for Mania.
Rollins and Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a great match, but I don't want.
Good match for sure, but
we
I
could
think
do better
that
for
needs
both of them.
that needs to happen at a lesser.
Yeah, you could do it at like
pay-per-view.
Fastlane or something.
Exactly, or whatever the one is after Mania.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know if I like that. I think they both need better. Rollins should be doing something better. Jordan could be doing, like I said, Triple H or Kurt Angle.
yeah. Rollins needs, if they're gonna break them up and they're gonna do this payoff match on Jordan, but then
So
he
why
needs to
wait?
go off into.
Just cut it off now.
The thing that worries me, though, is that the Bar losing again means they're pretty much done. I don't know what you do with them in their rematch. They kind of move to the
back of the line.
Yeah, they're back to the line, and they're great.
Well, I mean, do you think they're starting to build Anderson and Gallows again now?
So I was
Up
gonna say they
into
might
something?
be.
Next in line?
It could be, but I don't think you could do them versus Jordan and Rollins.
Not in a face versus face situation.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I still feel like Anderson and Gallows are like tweeners.
They are.
They're not necessarily face, but obviously they
yeah,
don't really do
I think
the
Balor
heelish
Club's
stuff
gonna
anymore.
be. Balor Club is like gonna be DX, like and
Just kinda do
Bullet
whatever.
Club,
Yeah.
the bad guys that everyone cheers for.
Yeah.
So, interesting stuff. Revival, I was hoping could have been those guys, but they're done forever. Their careers are over with. I don't know.
Harsh.
Rest in peace.
We're not
R.I.P.
gonna.
Cold
I
blooded.
think New Age Outlaws have a better shot at winning the titles before they do.
I wouldn't hate it.
Oh, the place would love it.
You still got it.
I said
You still
when
got
Road
it.
Dogg started giving there, I was like, oh my god,
Yo, he still got that move.
he's so
He's saucy.
good.
How about Billy Gunn though?
Oh my god,
That guy is enormous. Still.
massive. And X-Pac is so drugged up, and he hits the stiffest X Factor I've ever seen on freaking.
Yeah, I think he really took his face just straight into the mat.
It was Dawson, right? He just buries his face right in the mat. I was like, oh god.
Did you see how skinny X-Pac was?
That's what I'm saying.
Super
He
skinny.
is
And I don't know if
super
it's
skinny.
just that he lost weight. He was never
He's
really
sober
a
now,
huge
though,
guy.
right? He's
Yeah.
not.
So I wonder if he's just, that's what I don't understand. Like if he's
He was
just
so
losing
tiny.
weight.
He was, like, frail.
Or if he's
Like-
sick. Yes. He did. He looked
He
super
looked frail. Like if someone pushed him, you'd have snapped in half.
He's a friend of the show though. He follows me on Twitter.
Sean Walt.
He follows me on Twitter.
No
Sean. Swear to
way.
God, I'll show you. So
For real?
he's a friend of the show. Swear to God,
You're gonna tell me he's looking frail?
We got to get him on the
I
podcast.
feel bad.
Tell
I'll
him-
get him on the podcast.
Tweet him, be like, hey, we'll be on yours if you come on ours. Or
I think that's fair.
trade. Yeah.
I'm not kidding you too. Where there's been times where I've tweeted something and he's gone out of his way to tweet at me.
What?
I'm not kidding you. I wouldn't lie about something like that.
X-Pac.
Yeah,
Friend of the show.
he is a friend of the show. I'm a friend of X-Pac 12360.
All right. Let's
Did you hear? Actually, real side note, and then I know we gotta like do that quick, but people were chanting 123 at
Yeah, it was
Manhattan Center.
awesome.
Amazing.
so good. Especially because that's
incredible.
where the 1-2-3 Kid beat Razor Ramon.
Yeah, exactly. That was it.
They hyped that. That was one of the top Raw moments, of the top 25 Raw moments.
Yep, that too.
That was so awesome. The 1-2-3 Kid chant. So good.
1, 2.
So
That was
good.
amazing.
He wasn't ready for that.
No, I don't think he was.
Not
I
at
don't think he was
all.
prepared.
Because he was like, thanks. And then he continued with his lines.
He just kept going, right? Yeah, he's like, all right. Well, he probably knew they were in a time crunch, too. He's like, I got to get this.
He was getting nervous. All right. So that leaves us the 2 Rumble matches.
Here it is.
Start with the
finale.
women. The women, I believe, will probably start the show. I don't think they do the Rumbles back to back.
You think they're going to bookend
So
it?
I think the women start the show.
That's interesting.
You don't think they maybe
Wouldn't-
stagger it?
Yeah.
You think it just bookends?
I can
I
imagine
think
it'd be
they
like
just
2 and then the women and
I think
then
that'll.
all
I think the
rest,
crowd will
and
be
then-
hot. You start with the women. It'll be a good way to start.
Who do you think's coming out first?
Nia Jax, 100%.
You think Nia?
Yes.
Hmm.
Because then they can tell the story about her being in the match for 45 minutes and getting tired, and that's how they were able to eliminate her.
See, I think at the same token, you could do that with, like a Sasha.
That's what I have.
You know?
Sasha. You need the pop. You need
Well, you have
that.
Nia come out first, and you have Sasha come out second.
Or you have someone like Naomi. That's another crowd pleaser.
But I
You
think
need
Nia
a
needs
crowd
to be in
pleaser to
first.
begin.
Sure. Or even Becky. She's not as much of a crowd pleaser anymore.
No.
I feel like
I
she's
think you
gotten
need
kind of
Sasha
lost
to-
in the shuffle. I like Becky a lot. I
Yeah.
just feel like she's gotten...
Yeah, I think you need Sasha to come out first.
Or Bailey. She gets a...
Bailey gets
Maybe
booed.
not.
Bailey gets booed now.
And Philly, she'll get booed.
Poor Bailey.
Except for the 3-year-olds. I will be booing her.
He's
Nia
so
comes out
awesome.
first. She'll
She's
get.
fragile.
They'll tell the story about how she's been worn out over the past 30 minutes, and they'll be able to toss
She's
her
gonna
out.
get the most girls over.
I just had a thought because I feel like they used to do this with Big Show or Kane. I feel like you could also have Nia Jax come out though when the ring is really cluttered,
And then you have
Have
and
her
her
just
just
clear-
clearing,
mow out?
yeah, and have her
Yeah.
just start clearing people.
You could.
Clean
That's a good
house.
point. I like
Yeah.
that.
Just saying, because
Yeah.
we've seen
Agreed.
that movie before.
But then, how does she get eliminated if she clears
You get-
everyone out?
the last,
Unless Ronda Rousey eliminates her, but I don't think they're gonna have Asuka.
well, I think you do a Big Show thing with her too, where even if she clears the ring, the few that are left in
A
there,
couple of girls, yeah.
Yeah,
they
they
all
gang up
and
and
they
heave
just
her
get
over.
her out.
All right.
because I think that still protects her, though. That still protects her. Like it took multiple people
yeah.
to throw her
She's
out.
gonna get
Not
those
just
people
one.
out, clearly.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
She's gonna come
that's
out
fair.
looking great.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think you have her. You could have her be like a. What was it? They used to talk for the longest time. Kane had that record for the most eliminations in one row, or most eliminations. So maybe she could start a new thing where, like, oh, Nia Jax, first women's Royal Rumble. Did you hear she had
X number
whatever?
of,
Yeah, on her own. So I think there's ways to play it where you can still protect her.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Right.
I don't know who. We'll probably get Mickey James come out first. Watch that. But
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I really
like
wouldn't.
Mickey James.
so
I mean, I do too.
Yeah, but
I believe they've said there's gonna be like 8 or 9 NXT women. I can't even think of 9 NXT women, but
8 or 9.
Well, I mean, right off the, I
One,
mean, I
two,
gotta
three,
think
4, 5, 6.
Cross,
Yes.
Billy Kay,
Yes.
Peyton
Peyton
Royce,
Royce.
Yes.
for sure.
Ember.
Yes.
Probably Ember.
Kyrie?
Who's
I
that?
think
Kyrie
Kyrie
Sane?
Sane's got to be in it.
Yes,
Ember, the
I know
Mae
now.
Young
Thank
Classic
you.
winner.
Thank you.
Lacey?
Yeah, they
Evans?
seem to be
Lacey
pretty big on
Evans?
her.
Yeah, 'cause she's
South
a
Carolina's own
Marine
Lacey
girl or
Evans?
whatever.
Oh. Are you doing that because you're biased?
No. I think she's really
Dakota
she did
Kai
really
would be
good
a-
in
yeah.
the Mae Young Classic. I think.
I agree.
Dakota Kai would be a crowd pleaser. I
Oh
wouldn't
yeah,
mind that.
she's cute too.
Did
But-
they sign do they have like Ellering's daughter in there still, or Tessa Blanchard? Are they in
I don't think they're
NXT
signed.
yet? No,
I don't think
okay.
they're signed. Candice
Curious.
LeRae, I think.
That's
She's gotta
Johnny
be in it.
Wrestling.
You think they're
Yeah.
gonna throw her right in?
Wife?
Yeah, why not?
Girlfriend.
She's going to NXT, but why not put her in there? I mean, you need
She's
the
such
women.
a good.
For the love of God, Donovan Dijak hasn't even been on TV
That's
yet.
true.
He's still. What the hell are they doing?
But Candice LeRae was in
That's
the Mae Young
another day.
Classic, so
Oh yeah.
That's true. So people still do have exposure to her.
I think a lot more people know Candice LeRae than Donovan Dijak,
Well,
which is
that's
sad
a
to
damn
say.
shame.
It was very painful to say.
That's another day. I'll go off on a Dijak rant another
But like
day.
I just said, Candice LeRae, like you knew who Candice LeRae was. That
Yeah.
You knew Gargano's, but you don't know
Yeah.
who Donovan Dijak is.
No.
Mhm. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll send you.
I mean, the
YouTube
Philly
videos.
crowd, I think you'll get.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They'll know
for sure.
Donovan Dijak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
For the rest listeners out there, I got into wrestling when we started dating 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Putting it out there.
That's fine. I'll tell you right now, for only 3 years into it, you know quite a bit. So that's,
I know I
that's
trained
pretty,
her well.
You did. That's what I've been training Janelle. You know, she'll start to get it. She starts to get it. So
So, Ronda Rousey's in there.
Oh God.
she cannot win.
She cannot win.
She can't.
I will walk out. Well, I will take a breather for a long time. I will be so pissed.
She sounds like
Could
us.
you imagine though if she did? Can you imagine those other women?
Unless she
Like if
comes
you were
out
Mickey
one.
James and Ronda Rousey, I'd be pissed.
To me too, that would be like strike two on the whole women's thing, because of the whole. Everybody got pissed about the James Ellsworth Money in the Bank. I
Right.
feel like if you had somebody come in like her, and
Oh my
win it,
God.
especially too if she came in at like number 20 something.
That
Yeah.
was one of my
And just-
notes, is the crowd reaction for the Women's Rumble. I
You-
noted that.
Yeah, and you want Rousey to get.
She's
I'm assuming you want her to get cheered, regardless if they are eventually, regardless if they're eventually going to push her as a
She's gonna
heel,
be a heel, yeah.
right? Because I know they're going to.
she has to.
I think that first time though, you're going to want her in a slot where she gets a huge.
She's
Good
28,
reaction.
29, or 30.
And if she's the
clearly.
one
Yeah.
to eliminate Asuka, I think she gets booed.
People would lose their minds.
People would be very pissed.
The
at
faith,
that.
especially like you said, that Philly crowd. I'm imagining
Philly
it's gonna
crowd
be
is a
lot
wild
of.
card.
Whoever puts her Ronda over the rope is it's gonna be a big deal on its own. It's gonna be like she's one of the best
And
fighters
she-
in the world. Oh my! You can just hear
It's
my
gotta be
Nicole
another-
freaking out.
So maybe,
She has a big name. She doesn't need the win.
but
Her
she
name-
can't come in and look weak either. She,
No, she could be a final four.
I'm sure she'll get her fair
she
share of
could-
I
eliminations.
was gonna
or-
say, she could be another. Really gotta be another. Like what you said, either a lot of people take her out, or if they were just like, do what I said and bring her out number one and be like, oh, Ronda Rousey's been in there 45 minutes. She looks like she's getting tired. And a bunch of girls group up on her and throw her over. I don't think she comes out one, but
No.
Let's just.
you gotta save that anticipation there.
I think full disclaimer too. We've been very, very disappointed before, so maybe she doesn't even come out at all.
It's true. I could just wait.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Because remember last year we got all hyped up about the Kenny Omega thing, and obviously that didn't happen. So that's all I'm saying.
At least this year, he just signed, right? They said so.
New Japan.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
It's disappointing as much as I wanted in the back of my mind that I thought he was going to come out. I'm glad that he not going to happen.
He's better off in New Japan for now, I think.
So
Do we see Trish coming out?
Yes.
Trish will be there.
I think so.
Do you see? What surprises do you have?
Well, Trish, Ronda Rousey is considered a surprise. I think all
Nikki?
How
the
does
NXT girls are all technically surprises.
How does Lita, one, allegedly
yeah.
not get invited to Raw 25, and two, how do you not have Lita in there? Because I feel like out of those women from that era,
You got
those two are the
Yeah.
ones that can still physically jump in there.
right.
You know who I did hear? You may not know much about her. I don't know how much you do, but I thought I heard something about a possibility of Molly Holly.
Yeah, I think she's still in good shape.
Yeah, I heard something about possibly her, which she was good.
She's fine, yeah. I wouldn't mind that.
No,
People are talking about Jacqueline, too. She's 87 years old. I don't know.
she's another. I mean,
She's
she
ripped.
is still
She
in
came
shape.
out-
She's
Yeah.
ripped.
She
was, like,
looked like she
ready
could put a
to
hole through a
go.
wall. I was
Yeah.
like,
She's about to
she could
punch
eat
it.
someone for lunch. I
She
mean,
was about to kick through that LED. Just straight through him.
she's like shake your hand and throw you on the ground at the same time.
Give you arthritis.
So, I think Asuka wins. No. But then again, I think WWE hates inside that everybody knows Asuka's going to win, and they might not. But
I would love Asuka to win.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has
Everybody wants
literally
Asuka to
everybody.
win.
I think is predicting Asuka.
Everybody
wins.
wants Asuka to win. I think it's, and you could make a great case for it. But there's, I don't know.
I feel like you pigeonholed yourself though
Right.
into that booking with her being undefeated.
Right. Who else did you see winning?
Do you consider it a loss if 12 women toss her over?
Mm-hmm.
I have a bold second option.
Let me hear it, because I'm still trying to form my opinion.
I think it would be interesting. She needs the push. She's a great wrestler. I could see Becky Lynch winning.
I wouldn't
It would
hate
be interesting to see the buildup of best friends after that promo. Like, Charlotte came out and was like, hey, friends don't matter in the Royal Rumble. Friends don't mean anything.
She has a point.
It could be interesting to see how that goes. Becky's great.
Mm-hmm.
A match between Becky and Charlotte, we've seen it before. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Have we seen Becky and Charlotte? No.
Yeah.
One-on-one?
I thought we did.
No. Unless they did in NXT. No, because they're both baby faces. They've never... And
We haven't seen it before.
no.
Are you sure?
I don't know if you have one-on-one.
No, there's definitely not. Because Charlotte only came to the SmackDown after Mania.
Right.
So it's
It's been... I don't know. I think that would be
It's
really
been a year,
good.
and Becky has missed a lot of time recently.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Becky needs that push because when they separated the show and Charlotte's on Raw, like Becky was like this, obviously one of the best women on that show, right? And then Charlotte came over, and then everybody's like, well, push Becky, push Naomi, push all these other great girls down.
Yeah.
So you need...
Well, that's not necessarily true because Charlotte didn't win the Women's Championship for a long time.
I feel like Becky has definitely been sent to the background of the picture, though, lately.
But again, I think it's because she missed a lot of time for some reason.
She was shooting a movie, I think.
Yeah. And that's the only reason why. I don't think they're down on her.
Oh, you know who we forgot, too? To mention? I don't think they're going to win, but people to fill up the show is obviously Riot Squad and minus Paige, Absolution.
Yeah.
Now, see, if she was healthy and she was going to wrestle, I think she would have been my pick. And that's sad. So I wonder if they had to rewrite that, because I would have totally had Paige win.
Paige is a good choice.
I think it could be Asuka or, like, Sasha. I could see... Because I'll tell you right now, I don't know about you guys, I'll never get sick of that Charlotte-Sasha feud. Because every match they had was pretty damn entertaining, and I would watch it again.
It is, but you would get Sasha and Bliss if Sasha won.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but they put on some decent men.
Yeah, they're fine.
I think it's got... No, you know what? I think it's got to be Asuka. Because I think Asuka... No, because I think Asuka would be a good person to take the belt off Bliss.
You'd get the proper reaction, I think.
Yes.
At the WrestleMania crowd.
Right. So I'm going to go with Asuka.
I know a lot of people like Bliss, but she
like
still gets a
Bliss.
fair enough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I like her. But she's been champion for
It's been a while.
a while. Which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I think with Asuka being there, I just mixed Sasha and Asuka.
Sasuke.
That should be their tag team. Sasuke. So I think it's gonna be.
I was right. They have faced off one-on-one.
Oh, look at her doing her
One-on-one?
research,
Yes.
digging.
They faced off one-on-one ahead of the 5-way elimination match at WWE Battleground. This would have been July of last year. Photos. I've got evidence.
She's got full.
What?
I know I wasn't off. I know that they faced each other. I feel like it would be really good.
So
And Asuka's too predictable.
So we got her and I. Have you said anything yet?
Yeah, I said Asuka. But the thing about Becky Lynch winning, it sucks for Asuka. But if you... Because I know what Vince is already thinking. If you... Or you do... Becky win... This is super booking 3 months in advance. This is how I do it right now. Pull the trigger on this one. Book it, Vince.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Vince, book
You look
it.
great.
Becky wins. So that's taken care of. Raw. Now, Asuka beats Bliss for the championship at the next pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just book Ronda Rousey versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I'd rather have Rousey and Charlotte.
Yeah, but Rousey's not going to be on SmackDown. There's no way. Everybody wants that. Vince wants that.
So
but that's not going to happen.
You're gonna get the Asuka. You're gonna get the Asuka Rousey. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna bring Rousey in to lose to Asuka?
Yes.
Huh. Well, because you think Rousey's gonna get booked as a heel. But do you like?
Yes.
I guess I should ask
She's
this:
inherently
do you guys think that she's going to be sticking around, or do you think this is just going to be a
I think
one
she's
or two
around.
off?
I think they signed her to a contract.
Yeah.
Like, is she
She's
gonna?
around through the year.
I think she's around for at least 2 years.
Is she gonna be full time, or is she gonna be like Brock Lesnar? Like
What else is she doing?
comes and goes.
She's
That's
got to
true.
be full time.
The last time she fought, she got beaten less than a minute. She's got nothing else to do.
And she's got to be full time, I think.
Okay. I think if she stays and she's full time, then yes, you could possibly work that into a storyline where it's her and Asuka at Mania. I would need confirmation that she's going to be there week in and week out, though, because I don't want any part-time BS. I'm sick of Brock Lesnar. So anybody else who's going to do that is just not. I'm not going to bat an eye at. I mean, yeah, it's Ronda Rousey. Like, oh, holy shit, it's Ronda
Right.
Rousey. It's cool,
Right.
but you got to do something to get me to care. I don't know. I'm probably a minority on this one, but
Yeah, I know. What scares me is that Vince is all about the headlines, and Ronda Rousey winning first women's Royal Rumble.
I would be so mad.
people would
She
lose,
doesn't
people
deserve
would
it.
lose it.
She doesn't deserve it, and she doesn't need it. Her name's already got so much weight to it.
Yeah. If
doesn't
Asuka were
need
to
it.
lose to her,
Right.
That's not a good idea.
no.
But that's why I said.
Because you know the historic match goes to somebody just
And
out of the
that's-
company.
And that's another thing.
Well, she'll
like,
definitely get that.
yeah.
But that's why I say you could do. If a SmackDown girl won, then you could have Rousey versus Asuka in Mania. I know everybody wants Ronda Rousey and Charlotte, but there's just no way Ronda Rousey's going to SmackDown.
That's a shame. Because I do want that match.
All right, Asuka it is. You think?
I think Becky. I'm gonna go Becky because everyone in the world is gonna
Go
choose
for it.
Asuka.
I like it.
I'm gonna be bold and go with Becky.
And then when you're right, you can laugh in everybody's face.
Right? He's so good.
I say Asuka just because I don't think there's anyone else, but I feel like WWE's going to be like, we can't have Asuka just because everybody knows Asuka's going to win already. So
What?
we'll see.
I'm just saying, real quick before we turn to the other page to the men's, like, being over predictable. Has that ever stopped them before?
No, because Reigns versus Lesnar at Mania is happening.
That's what I'm saying. So
I can tell
even
you
though
right now.
everybody knows Asuka's gonna win, the hell
But
are
I
they
feel
gonna
like
do about it? They don't
Asuka's
care.
different than Reigns.
I can
Yeah.
tell you exactly how that Reigns match starts too.
Please don't. Not yet.
No, don't
it's
do
too
it.
early.
can tell
Because
you.
you're good at that.
Exactly how that match.
It's too early.
Spoilers.
I am Paul Heyman's brother. I know how to book that match. It's so easy because you know
Nope.
the video package that runs before that is Lesnar hitting an F5 and pinning every opponent. One F5 takes on every opponent. No one's kicked out of the F5 in recent. I'm sure.
Didn't Goldberg?
No, it was one F5 took him down.
Really? I thought it was 2.
No, it was the first one.
So speaking of Reigns, are we all pretty much on the same page that we think he's going to win the Rumble, or do you think they're going to do it in another way? That they're going to build him to the. Because for me, the men's Rumble, I'm looking, like Nakamura or Reigns. Because do you think they're still on the course to do AJ Nakamura at Mania?
No,
Okay, you think that's totally.
I think Dolph Ziggler is more likely to win the Rumble than Nakamura. At this
Beauvais actually mentioned you as an anonymous source on Trainwreck tonight.
Is that the anonymous source?
Yeah, your buddy who drove to Brooklyn. Who
I
picked
told him,
Dolph
Beauvais
Ziggler.
like, who should I say in this They're going to
it's
ask me who should win,
premeditated?
and I said, "Oh yeah, Bove asked me for all this." He's like, "Who should I?" They're going to ask me who's going to win. Who should I say?
What a joke.
I'm like, Bove, if you want to sound like you know what you're talking about, say Dolph Ziggler.
No.
Because that's all the rumors right now. Ziggler's up there.
For real?
People think Ziggler might really win this thing.
I mean,
No.
I like Dolph Ziggler, but
I'm a huge Ziggler admirer. So if he were to win, the Rumble, I would lose
I'm not
my mind.
against it. It's way better than
Somebody
Reigns.
should videotape me because you know how people freak out when their teams lose during the playoffs. If Ziggler came out and won it, I'd be
I don't
up on my
mind
feet.
it. Like I don't mind it at all. Ziggler AJ would be a hell of a match.
Absolutely, it'd be amazing.
Ziggler can cut a promo. The setup would be great. Mm-hmm. I don't mind it happening. I think that's more likely than Nakamura at this point because they just don't care about Nakamura anymore.
right.
That is not music to my ears. Not.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
love Shinsuke.
I mean, I'm not as
Don't
down. I don't think they're as down as people think they are on Nakamura, but I don't think he's anywhere in position to.
To win.
As I say this, I'm saying Dolph Ziggler's going to win, and he hasn't been on TV. He's been on TV once in the last.
I like how they're building
3
him though.
months.
If they build it that way, I like it a lot. How he just
Came out of nowhere.
dropped.
Oh, it's
everything.
weird. Yeah, he came back. He won the title. He literally came back for a week, won the championship, and then just gave it up.
That was
Now he's
amazing.
going to come back and win the Rumble.
Amazing. If they were to book it that way,
It's going to happen. I think that's more likely than Nakamura. I just am so against, for more than just the obvious reason, I hate Reigns winning the Rumble just because I hate Reigns. But you just don't need him to win it. He's going to face Lesnar anyways. Like, he doesn't need the Rumble win to make that happen.
but you know how they are.
You just don't need that.
They love
They
him.
could set that up without the Rumble. Like, just don't give that win to him. I think there's no way a Raw guy wins. I think
You think it's Ziggler?
it's Ziggler or it's Daniel Bryan, but Ziggler is.
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Reigns. I'm gonna stick with it.
That's just such a bad idea in Philadelphia.
Hate it. Hate it.
We mentioned at the beginning of the show greasing the poles, and I said we'll get into that later.
Here it
Grease
is.
the poles.
Here's
so
your
that people,
sign.
When people riot after that, they're not tearing down all the buildings and stuff in Philly. If Reigns wins that thing, it's a bad. Oh God, the
They've
boos.
made. I'm just saying they've made terrible Royal Rumble booking decisions in the past.
I'd love if Reigns wins. I want him to eliminate Daniel Bryan.
Sure.
That'd be the best troll move ever by Vince McMahon.
True.
Daniel Bryan comes out at 30, Reigns just pumps him right over the top rope.
Oh no.
He gives him a punch.
Oh no.
The
So
big
everyone's
Superman
most
punch.
favorite person is over the
Bryan
top rope.
comes running in.
The most
Just a
beloved
big
Daniel
Yeah.
Bryan and just
Everyone's favorite
Done.
move, Superman punch. Bryan stumbles, flips over the top rope, done.
oh my god. Oh. You'd probably have to find the nearest fire exits at the arena
Oh
if that
my
happened.
God.
Oh, who do you think comes out first? We never went over that. Who do you think comes out first?
For the men,
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think it's
I think
I don't
Braun.
know. Okay.
I think Braun.
Yeah,
they
but he's
tell
in
the story.
Are they gonna have him in
Yeah,
the?
I think they say the story about how he's pissed off and he just comes marching out and he's
That's
gonna kick
true.
everyone's ass and,
You know, it'd be
Yeah.
great if it was supposed to be somebody at one.
and he kills them.
Yeah, and he just
Yeah.
whoops their ass.
It's like behind stage. And
Right,
comes up
exactly.
it's a
And
big
he's
spot.
like, oh well, I'm coming out anyways.
He just beats their ass and comes out. He's like, "I'm not finished with you.
I think that
You
would
can
be
get these
incredible.
hands."
Oh,
That's
my
awesome.
It's the best.
God.
The fact that they gave him a tagline like that.
And a shirt. The shirt's amazing too. You can get these hands.
Who comes out at number one?
It's Braun.
Uh-uh.
What's gonna be tricky though is that means that it's gonna be the most boring first 15 minutes of the Rumble ever because
Right.
you gotta have like Kalisto come out next and Titus come out next and then Apollo and it's just Braun throw someone over the top rope
That would be awesome. that
until
would be
someone
awesome.
legit comes out to.
What about Reigns at one though?
That's what I have. Wouldn't that be something?
Just get it started.
Just get it started, have him come out, everyone boos, and he just walks out with just the faces.
Or I like
Yeah.
Reigns at one and Braun at two.
Then you know who comes out at 3, right? EC3, baby. Ethan Carter the third. Ethan Carter
That'd be
the
pretty
third is
sweet.
coming
I
out
can
at
see
3.
Vince getting a little excited about that.
Yeah. Oh,
He's no small guy.
He'd get a hard O for that.
You don't know EC3, right?
So
Yeah, you don't know
EC3
his
used. So he was in NXT for a while, and his name was Derek Bateman, is what they called him.
Mm-hmm.
But they made him an absolute joke. Like, it was a comedy act. So he went away to TNA for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's huge, massive.
Huge
And
guy. He's got the Vince look.
they wrote in the storyline where he was the nephew of the owner of TNA.
Okay.
And her name's Dixie Carter.
Yes,
So,
I know.
so he was
Okay.
Ethan Carter the third, EC3.
Okay.
And I recently saw that after they settled that whole Matt Hardy thing,
Yeah.
that Impact is letting their talent walk away from their contracts with their gimmicks. Like they
Okay.
own the rights to their
Right.
gimmicks now. After the whole Matt Hardy thing got cleaned up, they decided every
can-
person that
you-
leaves there, you can take
can
your
take
act
your-
with
yeah.
you. So I'm just saying that there's rumors.
Lord have mercy, look at those thighs.
Yeah. Yeah. About the size of my whole body.
Yeah.
So
He wears T-shirts over his legs.
So the big rumor is that there's been a lot of exits from TNA so far. Him, guy Bobby Lashley, and this guy James Storm. But they're saying that he's really, really close to going to WWE. And I guess too, I saw somewhere that he had an indie booking the night of the Royal Rumble, and he pulled out of it.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much a lock.
Just saying. So that I think they should do a Ty Dillinger type of thing with him and bring him out at 3.
That's a good idea.
Oh.
Because just imagine, like, the Titantron, just EC3. I think he'd get a pretty good reaction.
Yeah, Philly crowd's a good place to do that.
Yeah.
I like that. That'd be sweet. Reigns, Braun, and EC3 in the ring together.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to get EC. You can eliminate him because he's going to look great in the ring with those two guys.
I think he has to be like AJ though, where I think he has to stick around.
He
a
can stick
little
around
bit.
till like 15, 18.
Yeah.
That area.
Yeah, because
And Braun's going to be around that long anyways. Braun can be the one to eliminate him.
Yep,
He'll look strong.
absolutely.
He sticks around that long. If he gets in the ring with Reigns and Braun and doesn't get eliminated, he's automatically strong as hell.
For sure.
So,
Which he should be. I don't think he should be taken lightly.
yeah.
Because he's still young enough too, where I think he could be a champ there.
I'd like I wouldn't mind seeing Mike Kanellis.
Oh my god, that
Back
poor dude,
because
that poor guy.
He's been
Was he
off.
injured or is he just
He's
off
just
TV?
gone. He's gone, yeah. And all the rumors were because they were pissed about how he was out of shape when he arrived in WWE.
Right.
And you
yeah.
do you follow him on Instagram?
Yeah, I see. He's
All
been
he
working
posts
at
is
it, right?
Working
Yeah.
out. That's all he does. He looks a lot better now.
That's good.
Um,
Because I'll tell you right now, he's a hell of a talent. So he used to be in a faction called the Kingdom in Ring of Honor with Cole. So him and Cole are pretty good buddies. But that's how I got to know about his real name is Mike Bennett. The fact that they call him Kanellis, I get it because Maria's a name. But the fact that they call him Mike Kanellis.
but he's got the perfect WWE gimmick.
Yeah. And he's
The Mrs. gimmick.
He's a good wrestler.
And yes.
He's a good wrestler.
And he looks better, I think, and his song is so awesome. The best
The song
WWE
is-
song ever.
Even better than Rude? Because
It's
you
up
were
there.
high on Rude.
I'm still high on Rude's. Best music will have to be another conversation for another day.
Oh yeah.
We'll have to do that.
We'll
That'd
take
be-
note
have
of
to
that'd be a
do
good
that.
one.
We're taking note right now.
I like how we do stuff on the fly here at Gimmick Gorilla. Here at Gimmick Gorilla, we just like
just
to
do what
we
we
like to
want.
cut stuff from the
Yep.
show, add stuff.
But I'm pretty sure that he's not been injured. They just haven't put him on at all. He's not even on the dark matches, I don't think. Like
Ugh.
he's just not on.
That's
hurt,
unfortunate. I mean, hey, for him, if he's getting paid to work out and look better,
Well,
good for him.
I feel like at some point WWE's gonna be like, we're paying this guy. Let's freaking use him.
Right.
I
Why
think
wouldn't
the
you?
Rumble's a good place to bring him back in.
Absolutely, and
Bring
I
him
think he
back
would.
in, and
I think
see
he
how
would be
he
good
looks.
in. He would be good in a United States title picture.
absolutely, yeah, him and Rude, that'd be great.
It is. It's unfortunate.
So that's a good spot to bring him in. I don't know any other surprises, though. I don't know if we're going to get many. We didn't really have any last year, right?
No, I feel like last year was
Ty.
definitely a little
Ty
whack.
was like the only...
Oh, I can't wait.
And it wasn't even really a surprise. People were given the
Huge
doing the
amount.
10 before it even came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think last year was a little lackluster, so I'm hoping with these recent exits with TNA and hopefully some NXT guys that are close to being ready to come up to the
No
main
Way
roster.
Jose, I could see.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
yeah,
I would
yeah.
lose it.
Yeah, I don't mind him.
I
That'd be a
love
I would take him. Yeah, for
He's
sure.
a crowd
it's time
pleaser
for
for
him.
sure.
Absolutely.
And he's got way more of a WWE gimmick than an NXT gimmick.
Sure.
He's totally a WWE
Oh, yeah.
gimmick. NXT is not really.
And
that
I think you can bring him in at that middle point and
Yeah.
keep him around for.
Brings some excitement when you have that lull period where
Sure.
you have all three New Day. Everyone loves the New Day, but
I
it's like,
know.
oh, we got 1, 2, 3, all of them got to come out.
See, to me,
Yeah.
that would be a good spot to put No Way Jose is
Yeah.
with the New
Oh,
Day because I
it'd
feel
be
like they could
fun,
do something
yeah.
funny, like do
That
something
would be
fun.
really good.
That'd be a good. Yeah, so right there in the middle when you're in that period where people are starting to get bored because you got to bring Titus O'Neil out.
Yeah,
Like, that's a good
I unfortunately almost forgot about him.
No Way Jose.
Yeah, sorry.
Love No Way
They haven't
Jose.
done. Well, he was injured for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think he actually was on tonight. I think he had a match tonight with Cesar Boney or whatever his name is. So it'd be nice to see him. I like No Way Jose. I think he's good.
Yeah, it's too early for, but I'd love to see Big Velveteen Dream guy.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
everybody
I love
is.
Velveteen
Who's not?
Dream.
And it makes me so upset that he's not on that takeover card.
Why is he not on that takeover?
I don't know. I guess
feel
they
like-
just don't have anything for him.
Honestly, I feel like that would be a good match. Obviously, I feel like there's no storyline to it, but Roddy versus him. I would like a
Oh,
Roderick versus Velveteen story.
Well, Roddy's like one of those guys. It's just like, Roddy, just put him out there with anyone.
Oh yeah, he'll make it work.
Yeah.
But Velveteen's good.
Velveteen is that
Good character.
Dream and Black match is so good.
Yeah.
Good
And
character.
Velveteen's
that was
only,
my
he's
favorite.
what, 24, I think?
He's super young too.
Yeah.
And he's a product. Is he a product of the Performance Center or Indies?
Performance
Do you know?
Center.
Yeah, he's
I
a
believe they
Performance Center
signed
guy.
him. Yeah,
Okay.
he was a different name. He was Patrick something before.
Right.
And they created the Velveteen
Velveteen
thing.
Dream. It's a great.
It's
Working.
Great.
Took off for him.
I almost feel like he's a tough enough guy. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay, maybe.
I think he is.
Oh, that's interesting to note too. I don't see it happening because I don't know what TNA's, I don't know what Impact's thing is in terms of once you're gone from your contract, how long you have to wait before you get booked somewhere else. But there's a girl who's a tough enough competitor, Chelsea Green,
Yes.
Yeah, she's the hot
Laurel
mess.
Van Ness.
Yeah.
It's funny. She actually just won the Impact title at
Right.
a taping or whatever. Dropped it already, and she's already out.
She's gone?
She's gone. She asked for her release, and she was granted her release.
Wow.
I follow her on Instagram.
Isn't that Zack
she's
Ryder's
the one
girl?
with the makeup all over her face.
She
and she's
no, that might be. Are you thinking of Rosemary?
no. I'm
Rosemary's
thinking
the...
of-
Chelsea Green's the one who dates Zack Ryder.
right.
Okay.
Yes,
Alright, yeah.
she's the blonde. Yeah.
Yeah, the blonde girl.
Yeah.
So she was in Tough Enough. Went to Impact, did the whole Laurel Van Ness. Yeah, like you said, all the makeup and that. She may just be somebody interesting to note, keep an eye out for, depending on what TNA lets their talent do in terms of bookings after.
I like that.
Yeah, just somebody.
They
somebody
need some
keep an eye
people,
out.
so yeah.
Yeah,
There's,
somebody keep an eye out, and she was already in the WWE system before. Well, she at least did Tough Enough, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they're obviously they're familiar with her.
so, who, did you guys say who you want for this men's?
I'm sticking with Reigns. I'm sorry, I just think it's gonna be him again.
I am saying Cena. Why not?
You want that Cena AJ again?
Right.
That was a good match.
Great match.
That was a good match. That was a great match.
Why not? Wouldn't he? I looked it up. This would be his third tying with Stone Cold in Royal Match wins. I see a bold, looking way down the line. I see Cena beating AJ, getting that 17.
God, I hope.
I
While
hope.
Ric Flair's still alive and can pass the torch. Because this is the year of Ric Flair with the 30 for 30, him cheating death. Why not?
I just wish it wouldn't be AJ to be the person
To-
that he
I was
has
gonna
to
say.
drop
To
it.
beat?
to.
So like last week, I was saying it's not Nakamura or Cena who's gonna win. But then all that Cena Undertaker talk started, and everyone keeps saying it's gonna be Cena Undertaker at WrestleMania. That's why I think it's not gonna be
I don't
him.
think we need to see Undertaker.
Well, everyone
we
says
don't,
that,
but
Vince
they're
says,
still
"Damn
gonna.
it,
Damn it, we're putting him on a show.
put the damn black stuff back on. You're going back out there."
I don't need the damn bike.
I see Cena just taking it
Cena was
all the
my
way
favorite.
as this part-time curtain comes up on him, you know? Like, it's just, he's...
As of
He has to win 17 soon
Right.
because like the
I
New Age
agree.
Insiders were saying you can't wait. Like he can't just leave for 3 years and then come back and win it.
Why not this
He's
year?
got to do it now.
it can be this year, but I feel like you wait later. Summer, maybe he does a SummerSlam match.
They should put him in the freaking.
But
It should be Reigns, Lesnar, and Cena. Add him to that match. He can pin Lesnar.
and you want to know something? You know how much I'm the way
That'd be
you.
the best match ever for you.
I'd turn the TV up.
Lesnar, Reigns,
I would
and Cena.
I would
in the
literally
ring
go.
main event.
I would go
WrestleMania.
make food, knit. I don't know. I'd take a mitten for a half hour.
The whole
20
crowd
minutes.
would be like, "F these guys, F these guys."
like Reigns is to you, you know, Cena is to me. It's not that I hate John Cena. It's just being
Right.
force fed.
Right.
You know, just like that's why I don't like Reigns either. I don't like either of them. So it's not like
Right.
I like one or the other.
I think Cena's a lesser too.
But I agree with her. Where if you were to add him to that match and it happened that way, or if Cena were to win the Rumble, like you said, and you don't have to build Reigns, you just insert him in that match some way. Either way, I think it's
So that's interesting, because if you did have Cena win it, and he was like, I want to beat Lesnar, because I think everyone would automatically assume that he would wrestle AJ, because they've done it 45 times already.
yeah.
But they're great matches.
I think interesting though, you could have Cena be like, I want Lesnar, and then Reigns would be like, wait a second.
Yeah,
I've already
you
beat you.
and you get in right.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Angle goes, oh, let's who else wants in?
Let's make it a fatal 5-way.
Yeah.
Let's make it a 6-pack challenge. Who gives a
Oh,
shit?
Did I hear Apollo Crews? So that's interesting. But again, I think
No,
think
it's-
Cena versus Undertaker is more likely than not at this point right now.
Yeah, it's food for thought.
So
I
I don't know. Cena Reigns. I'm going Dolph Ziggler. I think.
All right, so you're staying strong as Dolph
still-
I
Ziggler.
think
with
Ziggler's
Dolph?
the guy.
I'm gonna
We
go
had
Reigns.
Randy Orton last year. Why can't it be Dolph Ziggler
Could
this
you
year?
not? What if Randy Orton won again?
That'd be awesome.
No. Nope. Walk
I
out.
just love when
Done.
they troll us. That's why I think it'd be awesome.
Done.
If he just won like the next 4.
After he like.
I'm all good for a good troll though.
Yeah.
I like a good troll job.
If he just kept winning it every year, I think he'd be great.
every year just went off on a tear.
They just call it the Royal Randy.
The Royal Randy. It's that time of the year again for the Royal
Comes
Randy.
the Royal Randy.
For the Royal Randy.
He comes out
Yeah.
wearing a crown. It'd be awesome.
No.
Yeah,
So Ziggler, Reigns,
I have Cena.
and Cena.
I have
I like it though. Now we all have something to look forward to, and one of us can text each other, the other one and say, "I told you so."
If
That'd be
Cena wins,
interesting.
I will be disappointed yet excited
I'll
that I
I'll
won.
be shocked. That'll be a good shock.
My
for
prediction
me.
won.
I'll be like Undertaker WrestleMania guy, with the eyes and mouth wide open. All right, that just about does it for this week, though, eh?
Right?
yeah. I think that's it. We're hour 45 minutes here.
Not even mad about it though. It
Yeah.
went
That's
by.
impressive.
Well,
We could have went longer too.
wrestling.
Yeah.
I could talk all day wrestling. I feel like we had to short some of it.
Uh,
But why don't you plug us a little bit? Tell Tell the fans and friends of the show where you can follow
All
us.
the
at.
live listeners here at Witter has been a great crowd.
Yeah, you guys have been a hell of a crowd tonight. Thanks for coming out. I know you guys are all full of carbs on all you can eat spaghetti night, but
All you can eat spaghetti
All you
night.
can eat spaghetti.
I know you
We're
guys are
on,
tired. Thanks for sitting through us.
Twitter, Gimmickrilla, Facebook, Gimmickrilla, YouTube, Gimmickrilla. The branding is, we've done it well this time.
Brandon's taking off.
Hashtag brands. So that's it, I think, for episode 2.
Yeah, we're going to the moon with this thing,
We'll
though.
be-
Trust me.
Carlene and I will be at Takeover.
Yeah, definitely do some
be at
live tweeting
Rumble.
from there.
We'll be at Raw after Rumble.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next week, we can look forward to reaction.
Yeah, we're gonna have some more reaction for sure, and definitely we got to get to. I feel like there's some other big news we got to get to. The after Rumble stuff.
All right.
All right.
That does it.
Anyone but
Thanks
Rousey.
for listening.
All right.
Peace. All right, we're done. Can I just hit the